Dividing fractions is what we're doing today. Hello, this is going to be the last lesson of this chapter. So we're going to look at dividing fractions. So we're just rolling it all into one day. You'll do a lot more of dividing fractions in 6th grade. I'm just introing you into it and showing you how to do it. It's not too bad. So we're going to start with 1, 2 divided by 1/8. So notice for this one, I've got a whole number divided by a fraction. First, let me show you a picture. I could do 2 whole bars. So this would be 1 whole. This would be 1 whole. What they're wanting us to do is divide it into 1/8. So that means I've got 8 pieces. There's 4, 4, and I want to divide each one into 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then what I'm doing is looking at them all together, and I just see how many pieces I divided it into. So because I divided it into 1/8, I just count my number of pieces. So 8 and 8 is 16 total pieces, and that's my answer. And you're like, what? This makes no sense yet. Well, let me show you. When we divide fractions, we do this lovely little thing that we like to call flip and multiply. Flip and multiply. Whenever you divide, you're actually just flipping and multiplying. So we're going to do 2. We're not going to divide. We're going to flip. So we're going to multiply and flip this fraction and do 8 over 1. All you have to do is flip and multiply. So you're left with 2 times 8, which is 16, over 1 times 1, which is 1, which is what we got. So when you divide, you're just looking at how many pieces you divided into. Let's try another one. On this one, I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to do 1/5 divided by a whole number. So 1/5 divided by 2. On this one, you start off with a fraction, and then you divide it into 2 pieces. So I'm going to take a fraction bar, which would be 1, and I'm going to divide it into 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, because I start off with the 1/5, I'm only going to look at this piece right here. And I'm going to divide that one little piece into 2. Now, let's think. If I was to divide 1/5 divided by 2, so divide 1/5 into 2 pieces, that would be the same as doing all of them. And my answer would go from 1/5 into however many pieces I actually had, which would be 10. So my answer would be 1/10. Because if you divide 1/5 into 2, you get 1/10. Let's look at it if we do our lovely new trick, which would be when we divide, we flip and multiply. We're going to take our 1/5, we leave it the same, and 2. How on earth would I flip 2? Well, remember, we can put it over 1. So if I flip it, it becomes 1/2. And when I flip, I have to multiply. So now I have 1 times 1, which is 1. 5 times 2, which is 10. And I get 1/10, same as I divided over here. I know this is blowing your mind right now. One more problem. Last one, 2 divided by 1/3. We're back up to our whole number divided by our fraction. So because of this, because we start with the 2 wholes, we're going to start with 2 wholes. 1, 2. Okay, now we're dividing them into thirds. So I have third pieces. And then I'm literally just counting them to see how many pieces I divided into. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my answer would be 6. You're not really worried about the numerator in these because you're really just looking to see what you divided it into. So this tells me how many pieces. If we do our new trick of flipping and multiplying, we would have our 2, which would stay the same. Our 1/3 would change to really 3. 3 over 1, same as 3. And we multiply instead of divide. Whoop. 2 times 3 is 6. And then if we leave the 1, well, 6 over 1 is the same as 6. So, I know this seems a little confusing because you're like, dividing. Just remember, it's only flipping and multiplying.